We have a new friend joining in from Dubai, Shagufta, and she's joining in as a transformation consultant. She's an image consultant. She has worked with on this for like almost 7 years. She is one of the senior people in this particular profession. She's been helping people, and she believes that things don't come by chance. You have to work hard for it. You cannot just be perfect thinking that okay, someday some chance will come or your time will come and things will change. You have to work hard and put things for yourself, work on it, and then you will get what you need. So Shagufta helps people to reach there in whatever you're doing. She ensures that you are perfect in what you're doing, and you create a quality brand of yourself, the way you carry yourself, and project it to the society. So thanks a lot, Shagufta, for joining it. Maybe you can talk about your name, what it means, because it is different, and maybe tell your friends that you're not as complicated as your name, and about your passion. So over to you.
Well, good morning, everybody. Thanks, Ravi, for having me here on the show, and I'm really excited, to be here. Okay, so starting with what my name, because you said it's a little complicated, and I have a lot of people actually telling me that people who've not heard my name before, they've actually gone to the extent of calling me Shakuntala. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shagufta actually is a very pure Urdu name, which has its origins from Persia, and
Mhm.
it means fresh and blooming. So that is what it really means. And as far as I go, my passion, like you've already said, it's working with people, with change, and that is what I'm, really, really where my whole focus is all the time. I enjoy doing that. I really love doing that. And if I'm not doing that, the other thing that I'm doing is, adventure. I love adventure. So I love to go on treks. I love to be out in nature. I
Wow.
love doing those things. Yeah. Being in Dubai, it gave me the chance to like skydive, so I've done that as well. It was scary, but it was fun. So I like doing all those kind of things. I have the adventure streak in me. And when I'm not out there, I'm working with people and with parents because that's one part that you mentioned. And I'm also a SleepTalk consultant and a trainer, and I love that part of my work too because you know working with individuals is one thing, but and at the same time when you're working with the younger people that we have there from the age of like 0 to 13, there's so much that you can do with them and mold them into the person that you really want them to be and not just leave them to chance. So here it is, this wonderful thing that I do called the sleep talk process with parents for their kids. Yeah, so that's something part of my work again. Movies is something I like. I love reading. Reading. I think I've always been a reader all my life, and I owe a lot of where I am today to books. Yeah, so that's a little bit about me.
Super. So sleep talk means basically talking to kids while they're sleeping, or somebody talking what's in their mind while they're sleeping. So what
Yeah, so sleep talk is, yes, talking to the child when they're sleeping. So
okay.
when the child is asleep, this is a beautiful solution for parents, who are struggling with the stresses of having either behavioral or any developmental or health issues of their kids. Yeah. And it's very simple. It's not a therapy. It can be done in the comfort of your home. It's very easy. It's very ethical. It is non-medical. It is non-intrusive. And all the parent needs to do is talk to their child when the child is asleep, because that's where you're literally the conscious mind is asleep and you are literally can speak to the subconscious level. And we know with so much of talks going on about the subconscious mind and the unconscious mind, we know that that is where the actual programming happens. That is where the actual change happens. And when the parent is talking to the child, because they're the primary influencers and the caretakers in a child's life, the child's mind accepts it also very, very readily. But the one important thing to note here is it's not just about talking anything to the child. People have this misconception that it's just about talking positive affirmations when the child is sleeping. It's not that. Yes, it is a positive thing. But then again, you've got to be very careful what it is that you're saying to the to the mind, because it's very impressionable at that age. And the subconscious is also very literal. It's just going to take in the words that you tell it without paying any attention to the context or why it is being said. Yeah. So you've got to be very, very careful as to what are you saying to the child when he's asleep. Let me give you an example. Yeah. So if somebody says that if the child is having trouble going to school or he doesn't like to go to school, and then you say, oh, you like going to school, you love going to school. Now, for somebody, that may be a positive affirmation. It is. You like going to school. I enjoy going to school, if the child is having any problem going to school. Now, the issue with this statement is, what if, there's something happening to the child in the school, which is not coming and telling you, and which is not, in the right sense, what should be happening. Maybe he's being bullied at school. Maybe he's, the teacher is being very unfair and bad to him. There could be so many things. Maybe there's something else that's going on with him. He's uncomfortable. Maybe something has happened there. So you do not want to, just tell him that you love going to school. No,
Yeah,
you don't want to put that. Yes, exactly. So when you say such things that you love going to school without knowing what's happening, why he doesn't love to go there. Yeah. So sometimes these positive affirmations backfire. You don't want him to love school when actually he's being bullied. So the message that you're sending out is it's okay to be bullied, or it's okay to, somebody being unfair to you, or, that's not the message that you want to give to the child. So positive affirmations all the time is not the right way. So there's a way of doing it. And that's why we people are trained on it, on what it is that needs to be done.
Yeah, well, very important point nowadays. I mean, it's for me also as a parent. Life has become so transactional. Like I'm busy with my work, and then my wife is busy with her household activities. Now a lot of stress because the mates are not there. And apart from that, otherwise also we don't give that me time, and most of the time we are like that dictation saying that ye karo, ye mat karo, and all that. And I don't see any time where we spend where we sit with them and then discuss as to aaj kaisa hua, how was the day. Few parents do that, but I think most of us don't. So
yes, most of us are. Exactly. The life that we are living now is so different from what our parents and what our grandparents did. And it's going to be different even, going forward. And not only that, Ravi, sometimes, in our own stresses, we say things to our children which we don't really mean, just go away from here. I'm busy right now. Or, sometimes if they drop something, how clumsy can you be? And how stupid you are. Or we get into these mindless, comparisons sometimes. And all of this has a very deep impact on the mind of the child. And not only that, sometimes when we are having these conversations with our kids, and they're doing it with a good intention and with a good energy. For example, I'll give you my example here. Yeah. So growing up, I was terrified. I was terrified of speaking in public. I just couldn't do it. And it was not a fear of stage. I know that. It was not a stage fear because I could go on the stage and I could dance. I could do that. I enjoyed that. But ask me to speak, forget on the stage. Ask me to speak when there were 2-3 people and I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. And this continued in school. This continued in college. This continued in my adult life where I couldn't even speak up for myself, where I knew I had to. And it caused me a lot of pain. Until I eventually worked on it, and I realized where it was coming from. So where it was actually coming from was, when I was a little girl, my mother, in her own good intention, and it is required, that, Shagufta, you must not talk to strangers. Be careful when you talk to people. Of course, she had my safety in her mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then, like I said, the subconscious doesn't understand the context or the reason. It just takes in the words. And unfortunately for me, that went into my programming. That went into, what run me eventually. And that's what it was. I was like tight-lipped, zip-lipped when I was with people. And it cost me a lot, in school. And I lost so many brilliant opportunities because of this
Yes.
defect that I had that I couldn't speak up. So it's not only when we are talking to our children in a good manner, you don't know what's really happening there. There's no way of saying it.
But I like the concept, sleep talking, all the other times in the day, we are busy and our mental state. Let's say, we're doing the same conversation, sitting on a sofa, sitting in a hall, doing it. Both the minds are like, like parents are thinking of our own activity agendas in mind, and the kids are like, oh, I have to go play, or, I have to do this. Why is dad or mom holding me now on this particular conversation? But when you're going to their bedroom or like, sitting beside them, while they're sleeping and all that, they're like calmed down. They're like, okay, prepared to go to sleep, which most of the kids don't want to sleep early, but have that conversation. I think that's the right time. They also open up to parents. And parents can also take that extra 5-10 minutes time spending with them, because it's a different location altogether. You leave rest of the thought processes aside in a different room, hall or drawing room or workspace, and then I think I should try that.
Okay, so that a conversation, a heart-to-heart conversation is always nice. That is required also. But then the sleep talk is done when the child is asleep. So that's a different thing altogether, because here you're actually working at the subconscious levels. And when you're having this heart-to-heart conversation, that's more conscious, that's more in the awareness of things. So that is also required. And definitely would recommend all parents to at least look it up and do this as well. And by the way, just to add here, I'm India's only sleep talk consultant and trainer at the moment. So the only one. Yeah.
Thanks for bringing that in, because we need that. I mean, that's what I suggest a lot of friends saying that, bahar gaye ho. I mean, I've traveled, I've worked there, but what did you bring back? So, it's not about bringing chocolates or cookies from US and other countries and say, hey, I got these gifts. More importantly, what did you bring back to the nation, to the society? So I think this is really nice. So you're bringing another concept, another speciality back to India, and you're open to consulting or teaching to people in India, saying that this is available. I specialize in this. You can avail these services.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been like this work has been going on for almost like 40 years now, 40 years plus, and it's very unfortunate that it's not really come to India yet. And I also happened to chance upon it when I was in Dubai. I always believe in learning, constant learning. I'm a constant work in progress all the time, right? So when I came to Dubai 5 years back, I was in India prior to that. And in the course of my own personal and professional development, this is where I came across the sleep talk. And I've worked with a couple of parents, and I've seen the difference in the child, and then consequently the difference it makes to the entire family as such, to the parents as well. Because sometimes they're so stressed with what's happening with their kids, their life gets into a turmoil. Especially with parents who have kids with developmental issues. It could be autism, it could be ADHD, it could be, there's so many, other conditions also, besides the behavioral and other stuff. So it works beautifully with all of these kids. So I have worked with it and I've seen the results. And I thought it was time. And what really helped me was this last 4 months when I was in India in the lockdown. And that's where I connected to a lot of parents then. Bringing it to thought the time was right that I introduced it there now.
Super, good one. I really love the concept, and a lot of things have just come a decade back. Like you talk about Montessori school or these concept schools, concept way of methodologies. These have come like almost a decade back, and some of these things are still new. As you're saying, though it took 40 years, but India, it took time for somebody like you. I mean, somebody has to own up and say that, yes, I can do this for society in India, and, teach them or inculcate. All these are methodologies which we can inculcate in our life and, make it better.
Absolutely. Required. Much required.
Much required. True. Good. So what else is cooking? So what are the other hidden talents of you, which, we are not aware?
Hidden talents. So, are you talking about my personal or my professional?
Both.
Okay, so let's talk about let's talk about the professional. Let's finish that and then I'll come to the personal. So on the professional front, yes, I work a lot with individuals as well. So parents is one set of people that I work with. And I work a lot with individuals on image management. So I do embraining also, which is again a new science, by the way, which takes NLP a little further on. And then basically helping the individuals, achieving the desired dream, whatever it is. And I call it connecting the dots, I call it that way because the dots for me is dream your desire, know what you really, really desire. O is for obstacles, identify what your obstacles are. That's important because you may dream a dream and then, you feel that there's so many things that come in my way. So you identify the obstacles. The T would be for transformation, to translate and to track. Okay, so you transform, you translate it to what you're doing, and then you also keep a track of it. And the S is for sustainable. You need to sustain it, you need to keep growing, and you need to keep moving forward. And that is again like a constant work in progress because the minute you stop, you stagnate because you've achieved one dream. And I'm sure nobody wants to stop at that. We always want to go to the next level. I mean, it's required. Why must you not? You should always aim for the next level and the next and the next. And each next level of you will demand a different version of you, right? You cannot be the same person what you were doing here. If you want to do this, you've got to move. You've got to change. You've got to change some things about you that will get you there. So dream your desire, get over the obstacles, transform, translate, track, and then sustain. Move forward. So that's what I do with individuals using a lot of different modalities. So the modalities would be the tools I say in the toolbox. Okay, so I could be using embraining, I could be using NLP, I could be using hypnotherapy, I could be using the other thing that I could be using image management, anything to get to the person from here to here to get them fulfill their dreams. So that's on the professional. And talking about my personal talents, I think I'm fairly a good cook. Not that I enjoy doing it, but yes, I think that's one thing that I have. I am creative in a way. Started writing a book, by the way. Yeah. So, yeah, that's something again. Like I said, I've always been very, very close to books. Ever since I was a little child, I've always loved to read. So that's what I'm working on at the moment.
Super. Yeah. Good one. So, what's your specialty? Shagufta's special dish?
Special dish, I would say biryani. Yeah, biryani, and yes, that would be it.
Super. So we have some rapid fire questions for you. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you all set?
Excited. Yes, this is different.
Where were you? Which part of India were you before?
So I was born and brought up in Mumbai, and I got married and I lived in Belgaum for 17 years. Till I decided to call it quits, and I returned back to Bombay in 2010 after being married for 17 years. So I've lived like in Mumbai and then Belgaum and then back to Mumbai before I came to Dubai again.
Okay. So I asked this. The first question, that wasn't the question. Okay. So the first question, everybody who goes to a different country from India, I still want to check if your roots are still glued to India or not. So this is the question for you. There is a dialogue in Sholay, kitne aadmi the? So yeah, that is the question. Kitne aadmi the?
Kitne aadmi the? Oh, okay. Zero or many. It all depends on how you interact. That's what I feel.
No. Movie. You have to answer what was the answer in the movie. So, you would have seen the...
Okay. Answer in the movie. Okay.
Yeah.
Do Sardar.
Good. So, you still remember Sholay.
Yes.
Okay. So, how critical is it to stay safe apart from the taboo and, all that which perceptions which we have? So, what do you preach to your clients? So, is it critical to stay safe or explore the world? Do what you want?
Do what you want. Explore the world. Listen to your soul. Listen to your soul. Your soul knows what you really want. Okay. And this I'm talking from experience because there was a time when I was like, under the conditioning of the society, this is what I need to do. This is how I need to be. This is what it has to be like. Even though I was going through so much of, challenges and difficulties in my life, I couldn't take that step because of the social conditioning around me. I came from a Muslim family, which was quite conservative in its ways. And there was so much I had to actually, jump barriers to now be doing what I am doing. And I'm so much happier now because, I'm listening to myself, I'm listening to my heart, I'm listening to my soul. And that's what I want to tell people. Listen to your soul. It knows what's good for you. Listen to your heart.
Super. So I asked the right question. Good. I'm glad I asked the right question.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you offend somebody in the process of in your life, where you said something which you later felt that no, I shouldn't have said that. Any such situation? You don't have to take names, but just describe such situation.
Where I said something where I felt I shouldn't have said it. Yes, there have been many instances, not one. There have been many instances where I said a few things which I felt I shouldn't have said. And that was coming from a time where I didn't have the awareness of a lot of things, but then I think it's okay. You've got to just kind of forgive yourself for that. And only then will you start seeing the things. So yeah, now I am very mindful of the way I'm conversing with people, the way I'm conversing with my own self, of course, because that's where the first it starts from. But then yes, there've been countless times when I've said things, but now I felt I shouldn't have said that. Oh my God! But at that point in time, that felt the right thing to do. So like I said, you evolve, you grow, you understand as you get older.
That's nice. Not a lot of people say that, no, I've been perfect, but you're honestly saying that, yes, I was doing mistakes. I've changed the way,
See, Ravi, what I feel here, it's not about getting older. It's more about getting wiser as we go. People grow old. We will. We eventually, that's not in our control. Are you getting wiser? That's the point.
Super. Good response. So, what is the ultimate question of life Shagufta has? One question about life.
So this question has been actually kind of, haunting me for a very long time.
Mhm.
And I was seeking the answers, which I did find it eventually, and I'm very happy about it. So, in fact, I was in March, this March 2020, I was in Goa for a Life Transformation Week program, which is part of my Journey Practitioner program. And that program has been very, very transformational for me. So if let me just give you a little backdrop to this. So in 2010, when I decided to end my marriage, and 17 years I've been been in that traumatic marriage, and I wanted to end it. And I was 37 years of age at that point in time. I had never worked in my life before, and I had no finances, nothing. It was scary. It was definitely scary as to what I would do. I had two grown-up children at that point in time. So I was reading a lot of self-help books at that time, and it helped me. It helped me keep my focus to a certain extent. But after that, I felt that, yes, these books have helped me, but they've stopped at a certain point. And there's something more that I'm seeking, which is beyond this. I know it is there, but I don't know yet what that is. So I was on this journey of seeking that what it is that I need to know. All right. And that led me to this program, this book called The Journey. And that's also a long story. But by the way, my mother, she got cancer and she really had to undergo treatment. And that's how the book actually came to me, just by a reference to somebody. And when I started reading that book, it was like, yes, this is what I was actually seeking, and I went deep into that. And just this March, I've actually finished that entire program called the Journey program. And this last March, when I was in Goa, we did the Life Transformation Week, where we discovered our soul's purpose. So that was the retreat all about. And I've discovered what I'm meant to do, what I'm here for. And I think now, things look so much better and brighter. So this was a question that was daunting me all these years. What is life? What is the meaning of life? What I'm here doing? What am I supposed to do here? What is there to all of this? And I think indeed this journey program has really helped me uncover all those questions that I had and to be the person that I am today.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's such an amazing thing. Just one workshop, one event, one workshop completely transforms or changes the way you look at yourself. Forget about thinking or learning something new and all that. It's that self love inner thing. You realizing what you are with this particular workshop. I seriously get surprised
Yes.
with some of these workshops.
Yes, they are. Some of them are so transformational. I can't tell you, and the journey has done that for me. So I don't disregard the others. I mean, every little, I've attended so many workshops, so many of them. I've attended workshop by Lisa Nichols where she talks about how you need to the art of storytelling and how can you become a great speaker. I've attended so many different workshops, and each workshop, no matter how it is structured, I'm sure you will get back something from them. We do, always do. There'll be one piece of gem that you'll take back from there. Because everybody has something to share. Everybody does.
Super. Oh, cool. So your next question: what is that language which you love to listen, though you don't speak that language or understand it?
Language that I love to listen. I think Bengali sounds very sweet.
Okay, so
Yeah, Bengali, and the other one is French. So if I had a chance, I would like to learn these two languages. Though
okay.
I'm not a language person. but these two, yes.
Okay, what's your favorite thing about your personality? You're
Favorite
into
thing?
consultant. You should be knowing what.
Yes, I think it's my positivity. I think it's my never say never attitude, and that is what has got me through the worst in my life. Just keep focusing. Focus on the solutions. Don't focus on the problems. I think that is what has really got me this far where I am. Okay, overcoming all the difficulties and challenges because I rather focus on what I need to do, focus on the solutions rather than bring my attention to, oh my God, what's happening to me now? And that is what has really helped me.
Cool. So next question: which scent do you find the most soothing?
Which?
Scent.
Okay, which fragrance do I find most soothing? I think when I'm out in the nature, so in a garden, the smells, the fragrance of trees and flowers, that is very calming. And the other one is when I'm at the beach. So the salty aroma, from the sea, I think that's very calming. That's very calming.
What gives you goosebumps?
What gives me goosebumps? What gives me goosebumps? The minute you have a new realization. There's so much, I can't imagine there's so much out there. And the minute you have a new realization, the aha moment, and oh my God, why didn't I think of this before? Oh my God, this also, that is something that gives me the goosebumps, definitely.
Okay. The last question: what do you love the most about your home? What is Shagufta's signature home decor like? जिससे पता चलता है, yeah, this is Shagufta's home.
Anything that is no, I wouldn't. This is Shagufta's home. Okay, so there's not one style. I mean, I don't stick to something that it has to be contemporary or it has to be the traditional. It's something that I like. It's something that connects to me, and it just finds its spot in the home somewhere. So there's not a theme that I'm following as such, but it's just that everything is picked up, which connects to me in a way which is reflection of myself.
Super. Now the final section. what would you do if you become the chief minister? What are the areas you would focus on with all this experience which you've seen in life?
Okay, if I were given that opportunity, I think most importantly, I would like to work on this, introduce something to schools because um, two things. One would be the um financial aspect or the financial learnings because I think that is lacking big time. We teach math, but we don't teach the practical side of it. We don't teach how to manage finances.
True.
So that is one thing that I would really like to introduce because I think we lack the financial literacy in the true sense of the word. Okay, I'm not talking about textbook knowledge. We are not taught about the practical way of handling our finances. We learn it through experience, but it would help if we were taught these things when we were still young. And the other thing would definitely be about these little now of course the awareness is building up about meditations, about being, these little workshops should be introduced for kids as well. And it's so easy to work with kids. They don't have those filters as adults do. When we work with adults, there's so many filters and barriers that are there, but children are so open to these things, and it's so easy to work with them because it's so open. They absorb it just like sponges, and they just take in whatever you tell them. So if the positivity, these little things that are taught to them in school, I think that would make a lot of difference uh, to the entire generation, to the entire nation going forward. Because those little children then become our future leaders and the future of the children. So I think I would love to focus on that area because if you change that, everything changes. Yeah, yeah.
Good to have you here, Shagufta. I personally learned a lot about sleep talking. I learned about how much time we should allocate as parents for some of these heart to heart conversations, which is very important, which we are not doing it, frankly. Third, image transformation important for everybody. More importantly, what you told about finding yourself, finding your own soul. I think this episode also gives that message on how important it is to visualize. There'll be a lot of challenges in life, but find that inner self. And if some of these workshops can bring in that to you, it's just awesome. And yeah, do consult and do take help when you want to grow because everybody has an ambition to go to the next level. So super conversation. I mean, a lot of insights. अभी मेरे को पता नहीं चल रहा कि मैं कितना मतलब ज्ञानी हो जाऊंगा.
You are talking to different people every day, Ravi. You are getting yeah, you're getting these little gems every day. So yeah, definitely. Good for you.
No, Daddy, no. I know this show was about this. Don't expect, don't implement all those on us. So yeah, but lovely conversations because some of these really make a lot of difference. And one important thing, I mean, I'm sure you're there in Dubai for a reason, for business or for your career temporarily. But once you come back, I'm sure you'll bring back a lot of value back to India and deliver a lot of these things. Now you're doing it remotely. Still, you're on.
Yes, the thing with the lockdown, so I always see the positive side of things. So the lockdown has actually made people I've become savvy, doing sessions online. So earlier on when I used to only work with people one to one, but now I've become super efficient in having these online workshops as well. So it's all about adapting to whatever is happening around you, right? So if you don't adapt, you don't transform, you stagnate, you just die off. And I think the lockdown has given this to me. So I've kind of, so no matter where I am in the world now, doesn't matter. So I can still work, being in Dubai, being anywhere. I can still have these online sessions, which are bringing the same kind of results which I did earlier one-on-one. So I think, that's the plus point of it.
Sure. So friends, do connect with Shagufta. We'll share all the social handles she is available and the way to reach her. So it was a lovely conversation. So now who she is, and how, what's her thought process, what's her thinking process, and what value she can bring into you. So do connect with her. So thank you, Shagufta. Thanks for taking time out and coming on Work TV. It was definitely a pleasure having a new.
Thank you, Ravi. It was my pleasure. It was. I loved talking to you. I loved your questions. It was so good. I mean, it was, totally different. Loved it. Thank you so much. Thank
Most
you.
welcome. And Shole ka answer yaad rakhna. Okay, don't forget that.
दो आदमी थे सरदार. I remember that. दो थे. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Bye. Have a good day, everyone. Every one of you. Love and